Now in 4 News Now at 6, a rest stop in Kootenai County is starting to look like a lumber yard as crews cut down trees along I-90. We'll show you what will be built in their place and why the trees aren't going to waste.
Near record highs today, but the cooling trend kicks off tomorrow. I'm tracking the hour-by-hour changes for your weekend in the First Alert forecast.
Overdoses on our steps, fentanyl residue and foil everywhere.
Downtown Spokane businesses are concerned for theirs and customer safety. Why they're demanding a law that was approved by voters be reinstated by the city council. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
And we begin with some breaking news. A section of Highway 395 near Chewelah is closed in both directions because of a deadly crash. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Washington State Patrol tells us the crash is being investigated as a vehicular homicide case. This happened about 3 miles south of Chewelah. The crash involved a car and a motorcycle, and the 2 people on the motorcycle were both killed. We do have a photo from the scene here. No word yet on what led up to this crash. There is a detour in place, and people are being told to avoid the area as the highway could be closed for hours. This is still developing. We will update you just as soon as we learn more. On I-90 between Post Falls and Coeur d'Alene, the once lush median now stands bare, a jarring change that has many drivers doing a double take.
The ponderosa pines that welcome visitors from the west into Coeur d'Alene now lie on the side of the road. Hunter Bertram shows us why they got the axe.
In recent weeks, crews have cut down towering trees, pulled roots, and stripped logs of branches. It's a scene more typical of a logging operation than the middle of a major highway. As you drive towards Coeur d'Alene, this is the new view. It's a bare sight, considering the lush, mature trees that once greeted many homes. For the next few years, crews will work to expand I-90, adding 2 more lanes in both directions. Instead of widening the highway's footprint, they're building inward. The median is spacious enough to handle the expansion without cutting in on the land along the highway. This drastic change, however, is not welcomed by many. It sparked conversation in online groups. I asked how people feel about it on Facebook. Jill says she hates it. Michelle echoes that, sharing she's really upset they were removed. And for Jackie, well, she wants to know if she can have the limbs for her goats to eat. It sparked conversations about the growth and change to this area, happening at a rapid pace. Mackenzie wrote, she doesn't think it's needed now, but in 5 years, when it's needed, she'll be glad it's done. Mackenzie adds, quote, it made me cry the first time I saw the trees gone. It feels like a part of my life is gone. However, it's about having those memories and still carrying room for change, as that is the only thing constant in our lives.
And as for where all the trees will go next, Idaho Transportation Department told me the contractor for this I-90 expansion will sell the trees to a mill. Then in return, it will decrease the overall cost for this project.
In Post Falls, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Well, it is do or die time for the Mariners tomorrow after the Tigers forced a Game 5 in Seattle with yesterday's win in Detroit. Sports Director Jack Wallace joining us now.
And Jack, what do the M's need to focus on to keep their championship dreams alive?
Well, just like their Trident, Seattle has to have a 3-pronged attack to win here. They need Cal Raleigh, a boost in the middle of the lineup, and getting past ace Tarek Skubal. Raleigh is the only Mariner to gather a hit in every game this series, but he hasn't hit many major hits outside of a Game 3 homer when Seattle was already well ahead. The middle of the order, Jorge Polanco, Josh Naylor, and Gino Suarez have been mightily disappointing, -2 performances, Game 2 Polanco and Game 4 Naylor. These 3, especially trade deadline additions Naylor and Suarez, greatly helped the M's win the division, but have been mostly ice cold this series. Lastly, Seattle must contain Skubal for the 4th time this season, an unreal feat against the best pitcher in the world, destined to win his 2nd AL Cy Young Award in as many years. The M's have doubled Skubal's ERA when facing him this season, opposed to his regular, and the team spoke about facing a huge challenge, but having the luxury of a home game too.
Everything's in front of us, and you know, these guys have done this all season long. Where they get in tough situations and they know exactly what to do, and they do fight back and they do bounce back. And I'm not worried about that at all. And no better place to do that than at home. So I think we just continue to do the things we've been doing and just get back on the right track on Friday.
The Mariners' first pitch against Detroit is tomorrow at 1:40 p.m. and actually it got pushed a little bit later now. That's been updated since Toronto won, and they'll be in the ALCS. So it is a night game. But since 2024, Seattle, a league-best 18-7 home record with 40,000 or more fans in attendance, and it's pretty safe to bet that that will be the case with a pretty rowdy crowd at T-Mobile.
Yeah, hopefully those M's fans can make a big difference tomorrow.
All right, let's send things over now to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker, tracking some wet weather headed our way.
Yes, although if you take a look at our Skycam view to the west, there's no sign of wet weather. There is an ash aphid flying around there. You probably had them in your neighborhood. We'll talk about that in the next half hour. But our sunset is coming up at 6:13, and it is still 76 degrees in Spokane. We got up to 79 officially. And this is the wet weather that I am tracking out in the Pacific, an area of low pressure that is headed our way for the weekend. I am very confident that we're going to have a big drop in temperatures, that it's going to be breezy at times this weekend, but the precipitation has been a little bit hard to pin down. But as I mentioned, we are going to have a dramatic drop in our temperatures. Here's our highs across the region today, 70s and 80s, temperatures more than 15 degrees above average. Tomorrow we are going to start the cooling trend, but we're still 10 degrees above average in Spokane, a little more than that in Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, 82 in Lewiston, and we'll be in the lower to mid 70s throughout the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. Not as bright and sunny. In fact, you may get a sprinkle in the morning, a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon, and then a possibility of showers coming in tomorrow evening. I'll be back with a closer look at that and your weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Spokane business leaders are calling on the city to reinstate Proposition 1, which would outlaw encampments near schools, parks, and playgrounds.
The voter initiative passed with 75% support, but was struck down by the state Supreme Court earlier this year. Derek Strom joins us live in downtown right now with the plan to pass it again. Derek.
Derek Kirsten, the Business Association, says there's been little to no enforcement from the city when it comes to illegal camping or open drug use. They say that's driving people and businesses away from the city, especially downtown, because they just don't feel safe.
Redemption Church used to hold its services at its building on the corner of 2nd and Division, but its pastor decided to leave the building it used for over 10 years because of issues with vandalism and drug use nearby.
Overdoses on our steps, fentanyl residue and foil everywhere that needed to be cleared up before our children would enter that door that all of us came in. Very fearful that any of these kids would, as kids do, be interested in shiny things.
Pastor Miles Rohde says the church has partnered with a different church in North Spokane for the time being. The Spokane Business Association says there are many more businesses and organizations downtown experiencing the same thing.
So many businesses I've talked to that have told me horror stories about what they're dealing with, cleaning up feces, the extra cost for security cameras, gates to lock their buildings down.
The Business Association is calling on the Spokane City Council to pass the provisions of Proposition 1. The state Supreme Court struck it down this year, but ruled it was not valid because it wasn't passed by the city government.
The enforcement needs to be immediate. I believe even in Prop 1, you could have up to 3 citations. And that's the thing that's tying the hands of the police right now with the current ordinances. They really don't have the authority to engage.
Mayor Lisa Brown has an ordinance in the works that would allow police to either make arrests for illegal camping or direct people to a daytime shelter. The Business Association says they want to see real results rather than just plans. Live in downtown Spokane, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
All right, Derek, thank you. The Spokane Valley City Council is considering adding speed cameras to school zones to help generate some extra funding.
We'll show you how much money they could generate if approved and what that money will be used for coming up.
And the family of a murdered Spokane teen is reliving their pain 17 years later.
She was fun-loving. She was a very fun-loving girl. And
why the man who killed their daughter could get another chance at freedom. Next on 4 News Now.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
4 News Now is brought to you by Numerica Credit Union.
Here's the play. Stanton Optical makes glasses in 30 minutes. Come on, turn! Michael, catch! I can see! You did it! I did it! 30-minute glasses? Now that's an easy play. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get deals on breakfast, which comes in handy when you've got the whole family in town.
Buy one, add one for $1. Now with sausage McGriddles and more breakfast favorites. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's a 4-day four-wheel drive sale at both Cal locations. As Cal loads up the lot with tough, loaded SUVs and trucks, and for 4 days only drops their prices by $400.
Plus, giving you an extra $400 for your trade-in.
And $44 down is all you need.
When you live in the Pacific Northwest, then you better own a four-wheel drive.
And today through this Monday, it's the best time to get a new four-wheel drive at Cal.
Why suffer through painful heartburn longer than necessary? For effective relief, nothing works faster than Alka-Seltzer. The effervescent formula begins neutralizing acid in seconds to effectively relieve heartburn fast. Try Alka-Seltzer.
Did you know that Spokane Hyperbaric Center uses oxygen to reduce pain, inflammation, and swelling?
I didn't know that.
Did you know that hyperbaric oxygen therapy promotes new blood vessel growth, fights infection, and releases more stem cells from your bone marrow?
I didn't know that.
Would you like to know if Spokane Hyperbaric Center is the right choice for you? Go to hyperbarichope.com to find out.
Spokane Hyperbaric Center gave us hope. And now you know.
Spokane has one of the highest rates of domestic violence in Washington. Create Your Statement is changing that, empowering youth to build self-worth, recognize abuse, and foster safe, healthy relationships. Visit createyourstatement.org and help us build stronger futures today.
Attention high school sports fans. Your school could be featured on 4 News Now Game of the Week. Go to KXLY.com, vote for your favorite game, and your team could be the featured game on Friday Night Sports Extra. 4 News Now Game of the Week. Brought to you by BECU.
Stanton Optical believes eye care should be affordable. Right now, for only $135, you get 2 pairs of progressives, plus all this. All that costs over $200 everywhere else. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
A killer will be back in Spokane next week to face a judge for his crimes. The twist? He's already been sentenced to life in prison.
Now, because of a Supreme Court ruling, he's getting a second chance. Justin Crenshaw murdered 18-year-old Sarah Clark and 20-year-old Tanner Pell in a North Spokane home in 2008. The brutal crime shocked the community. Now, 17 years after the trial that put him away for life, Crenshaw is about to be back in Spokane with another shot at freedom. Melissa Luck spoke with Sarah's parents in this 4 News Now exclusive.
How do you measure a loss this deep?
She was fun-loving. She was a very fun-loving girl. And in fact, it was like if I'd come home from work, hey, Pops, how you doing?
Sarah Clark has now been gone almost as long as she was here. An 18-year-old frozen in time in her Meade High School yearbook.
There's no more pictures. There's only the pictures that were there. All the things we missed.
For the Clark family, Sarah's story is about much more than how she died. But how she died is why we're here. Because the man who killed her 17 years and 7 months ago is getting something Sarah never will, another chance.
And we have been given a life sentence. There's no way we can get paroled from what we think about losing our daughter.
Justin Crenshaw has killed not once, not twice, but 3 times. First, it was Sarah and Tanner Pell in 2008. A violent attack, prosecutors said, deliberate and especially cruel. Crenshaw stabbed them to death, posed their bodies with swords, then set the house on fire. It was so egregious, a judge sent him to prison for life with no chance of parole. But the world still wasn't safe from Justin Crenshaw. While in prison in Virginia, he strangled his cellmate. Court records say he also stabbed defenders at prisons in Washington and New Mexico.
He has continued to be violent in a controlled environment.
And yet, here we are. Justin Crenshaw now has another shot at freedom because of a Washington State Supreme Court decision from 2021. That's when the court ruled it was unconstitutional for anyone who commits crimes between the ages of 18 and 21 to be sentenced to life without parole, that their youth has to be taken into account. Under this Monchke Bartholomew decision, anyone already sentenced that way would have to be resentenced and could ultimately be released. Justin Crenshaw was 20 years and 2 months old when he killed Tanner and Sarah. The Supreme Court opinion reads, mandatory life sentence creates an unacceptable risk that youthful defendants without fully developed brains will receive a cruel sentence.
Now, if you're 18 years old, you can legally do a whole lot of things. Get married, go to war, drive a car even before that, or just sign a contract. You can do all sorts of things, but when it comes to murdering somebody, then all of a sudden we're going to look at brain development. And so I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, our young grandchild of, 11 years old says, I know it's not right to kill somebody.
Yet the Clarks will have to make sense of it all again next week. Crenshaw will be transported from the state penitentiary in Walla Walla back to a Spokane courtroom, where a judge could lower his sentence or make him eligible for release. Maybe not now, but eventually.
But my kids, the thought of them having to go before a parole board every 10 years for the rest of their lives and relive this again like they're doing right now, our 5 other children, it breaks my heart.
In its pre-sentence report, the Department of Corrections calls Crenshaw a dangerously violent offender with a high risk for reoffending in a violent manner. Crenshaw will get a chance to make the case that he is not. And when he does, the Clarks will be there yet again to try and convey the impact of their loss. A loss that feels different now, all these years later.
When the grandkids say, well, how did Auntie Sarah die? What do I say to that? And at what age do I tell them the truth?
I said at the beginning of this story that how Sarah died is why we're here. That's not really true, is it? It's because of her life, a life for so many still worth fighting for.
How do you wrap up a life? And how do you portray that life to people and try to portray the loss to us, I mean the loss to the world.
I'm Melissa Luck, 4 News Now.
And we will be in the courtroom Monday when Crenshaw's resentencing gets underway. He's not the only convicted killer from Spokane who will have to be resentenced because of this decision. Brian Kim is another. He was 18 when he stabbed his father to death, then beat and strangled his mother. Kim was also sentenced to life without parole. The prosecutor's office says Kim now identifies as a woman named Amber. They have not yet set a date for that resentencing. 4 News Now will be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Shriners Children's Hospitals.
This week is the perfect time to upgrade your home at Walker's Furniture.
We're doubling and tripling the savings on beautiful new sofa and love seat combinations, stylish new bedroom sets, and the best selection of top name brand mattress sets.
It's all on sale this week, and you can multiply your savings with a sales tax discount or take advantage of 5 years no-interest financing with no money down and no minimum purchase required.
Get it today and pay over time.
This week at Walker's Furniture.
With heat like this, air conditioning's a necessity. Bill's Heating and AC can get you the relief you want with the urgency you need. We offer free same-day estimates and next-day installation. Plus, all our new equipment comes with a low price guarantee. So call Bill's Heating and AC today and take advantage of our 0% for 5 years promotional financing.
I'm a real wild one.
Life is wild. There's work to be done, adventure around every corner, and a truck that handles it all. The 2025 Ford F-150. It's rugged, loaded with tech, and built to go wild. Get a wild deal on an F-150 today. Lease a 2025 F-150 STX Super Crew 4x4 for just $329 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
If the name wasn't obvious enough, the DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket is tossed in your choice of honey barbecue or new sweet chili. That means layers of flavor from the top, bottom, left, right, inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Delicious from every angle. That's the Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket, available in honey barbecue or new sweet chili. Get it delivered today, only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
You give Morgan Guillory a puzzle, she won't stop thinking about it until it's solved.
I'm Morgan. I work with the cops. I see the world a little differently.
Did you just try and chase after a sports car?
It was an instinct.
This might be the best day of my life.
Welcome back. We were talking in the 5 o'clock newscast. Derek wasn't here to talk about this, that not that long ago we had a big snow dump on all of the foliage, the fall foliage, and what a difference.
2019, I think it was?
Yes, I think we're going to have some video of that later in the newscast, and it will give you a shock, especially when you consider the weather that we had today and still have. It's still 76 in Spokane, 71 degrees in Coeur d'Alene with clear skies, just a few wispy clouds, but we're going to see more and more clouds moving in. Our high today was 79 degrees, not quite a record of 81, but awfully close, certainly closer to our record than to the average high of 62. Sunrise these days in the 7 o'clock hour. Our sunset is in the 6 o'clock hour. And I just want to draw your attention to our average overnight low is now 40. So when you see those 30s on the 7-day forecast, we're not too far off the charts here. 4 things to know about your weather. Friday will be a transition day. We'll see an increase in clouds, possibility of some sprinkles that takes us into a cool and showery weekend. The showers look like we're going to be more Saturday night and into Sunday. And then we do have some frosty mornings ahead next week. Hour by hour, your Friday forecast. A sprinkle is possible in the morning. I would bet against it, but something to keep in mind, 70 degrees by 2 o'clock. We're still 10 degrees above average, even though we are cooling down. Our odds of wet weather increase as we get into Friday evening and some showers overnight into early Saturday morning. It will be cooler this weekend. This white line is our average high. We're down below average right on through Tuesday and then a little bit above Wednesday and Thursday. The cool down is all part of this upper level trough. We've been tracking it all week. As it gets closer to us, it's looking like less and less of a rainmaker and maybe just cool things down and some hit and miss showers. Sunday might be the exception. We're keeping an eye on the possibility of more meaningful rain Saturday night and into Sunday. A little bit of a breeze as well Friday night and into Saturday, and then some sunshine next week with overnight lows down in the mid-30s. We're talking about those pesky flying white bugs in the next half hour, Kirsten.
All right, thank you, Chris. Still ahead, the ongoing government shutdown is creating uncertainties for people trying to pay for next year's health insurance. The debate over extending health care tax credits. Next on 4 News Now.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Welcome Broadway's Rock of Ages, the driving music force that rocked Broadway and millions of fans in the groundbreaking show Rock of Ages live in concert at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, November 20th. Get your tickets now.
Winning is just the beginning.
Playing baseball at Gonzaga University was a dream come true for me. I went from playing an organized sport to life, which is very much unorganized.
Guess we're the adults now, but BECU is always there to help us out.
Things to think about are paying bills, affording a house, planning for college, taking care of dogs.
We have so much to plan for. Having BECU as a partner just gives us total peace of mind.
We wanted to switch to T-Mobile to make sure that we have better coverage.
T-Mobile is now the best network. And with T-Satellite, we're connecting millions of people in places no carrier tower can reach.
I signed up for T-Satellite to give me peace of mind as a mom that makes life better knowing that it's there when we need it.
Upgrade to the best network and see how you can save up to 20% versus AT&T and Verizon when you check the math at T-Mobile.com. Plus, your experience plan is guaranteed for 5 years.
Mirajoy, the overwhelming relief after Miralax helps you go. Miralax works naturally with the water in your body. Miralax, free your gut to free your mood.
For more fiber per serving than any other gummy, try Mira Fiber.
Happy anniversary from McVeigh Brothers. This month, if you'd like to upgrade your home with some new Coeur d'Alene windows or maybe a new roof, we're offering an anniversary special. Or no money down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 6 months. From McVeigh Brothers.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. Could they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. I want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you want to do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Coeur d'Alene Casino. Where winning is just the beginning.
4 News Now is brought to you by Satay Bistro.
All right, welcome back. Here is a live look at the U.S. Capitol building where lawmakers have once again failed to pass a bill to reopen the government. And once again, Republicans and Democrats blaming one another.
President Trump today vowing to cut federal programs if the shutdown continues.
We'll be making cuts that will be permanent, and we're only going to cut Democrat programs. I hate to tell you. I guess that makes sense, but we're only cutting.
Democrats say health care is one of the key factors keeping them from reaching a deal.
Our position continues to be clear. We will sit down to negotiate with members of the Trump administration, with Republican leaders in the House and the Senate. We're ready to do it now, but we have to also address the Republican health care crisis.
Another vote is set to take place tomorrow. For those living in Idaho, this government shutdown is inching closer to the state's open enrollment period for health insurance.
It begins on October 15th. It's a time when people using state-issued health insurance plans can make changes to their coverage and compare different options. But some Americans need to know if they're going to have help from the government before they commit to rising premium charges. Here's Mary Sheridan to break down the latest on the Affordable Care Act debate.
Well, under the Affordable Care Act, American families can qualify for tax credits, which are distributed based on how much money that household makes. For many, these credits are the only reason they can afford to have health insurance. As it stands now, these credits are set to expire at the end of the year, forcing some Americans to make a difficult choice.
We simply won't be able to afford any health care at all.
Bob McMichael is a senior citizen on a fixed income. He says he's not eligible for Medicaid, but he and his wife did qualify for tax credits under the Affordable Care Act.
This year, the premium was $1,916, so that left us to have to pay $51 a month for our coverage.
But just this week, he learned his premiums next year would increase by more than $250 a month. And with the tax credits on the negotiation table in Washington, D.C., McMichael admitted he may not be able to afford health care at all. Senator Patty Murray says this is the case for many Americans, which is why she's not budging on the need for an indefinite extension of these tax credits.
That's what this issue is. Real people in their homes who are desperately trying to take care of their family. And the uncertainty right now is just crushing them.
But Republicans in Congress argue that the shutdown itself is contributing to this crushing uncertainty.
When it comes to health care, Republicans are willing to have a conversation, but we're not going to do it while the Democrats are taking hostages and shutting down the government. So it's just unfortunate the strategy they're choosing right now.
Ultimately, Americans like Bob and his wife are preparing to take a financial hit no matter what.
We're both kind of trying to live with a little bit of pain because we're not sure how much things are going to cost when we go to the doctor. They don't tell you until after they've sent a bill.
And in today's press conference, Senator Patty Murray acknowledged that extending these tax credits is not the final solution when it comes to lowering the cost of health insurance. But she maintained this is an essential tool that Americans need to be able to count on. In studio tonight, I'm Mary Sheridan, 4 News Now.
All right, Mary, thank you. And healthcare providers are reacting to the uncertainty in Washington, D.C. as well. Today, Multicare shared that 25% of the people they treat are enrolled in Medicaid and will be impacted by recent cuts. In a statement, Multicare acknowledged when people lose their coverage, their medical needs don't go away. The provider is currently evaluating the impact the potential cuts would have on their organization, but assures they remain committed to serving the community's healthcare needs. needs.
Well, still ahead, President Trump calls it a momentous breakthrough.
And we'll break down the new deal between Israel and Hamas and what still stands in the way of lasting peace. Plus, the Cougs travel down south to take on a top 5 team in Ole Miss. We have a preview ahead in sports.
And new cameras could soon be watching school zones in Spokane Valley. Why some call it a smart safety move and others say it goes too far. Next on 4 News Now.
Sign up for the 4 News Now Daily Local at KXLY.com.
Do you think both of these tiles would work in my bathroom?
Tired of a big box service?
At Caruso's Floors, we've kept Spokane covered for over 80 years.
Right now, during our fall sale, it's a great time to check out our selection of quality Karastan products.
Caruso's Floors.
Discover fall. Coeur d'Alene Getaways starting at just $249.
Touch can mean so many things, even for children with moderate to severe eczema. Touch can make a little one feel like a giant, can bring sparkle to a teenager, or be the unspoken language between best buddies. Dupixent can help your child stay ahead of eczema with clearer skin and noticeably less itch as they welcome the feeling of touch. Dupixent helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your child's skin from within.
Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor.
Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists. Help your child feel the heal and see the difference. Reach out to your child's eczema specialist today.
Balancing work and family on a tight budget can be tough. Spokane College's Head Start program provides safe, affordable childcare to working parents pursuing their education.
Head Start offers free or reduced cost childcare to qualifying families with children up to 5 years. We serve over 700 families throughout Spokane.
Head Start gave me the support to finish my degree with Spokane Colleges.
Through October 15th, Numerica's matching all donations to Head Start up to $10,000. This is how Numerica cares for kids.
Check out the expanded strength equipment at Planet Fitness. Join the club today for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Now through October 10th. Planet Fitness is proud to partner with Boys and Girls Clubs of America to create stronger, kinder communities.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, speed cameras like these could soon be coming to school zones in Spokane Valley. The city says the cameras would slow people down and make money in the process.
The city already knows of 2 school zones that would catch quite a few speeders. Madeline Mullins shares where those spots are and how much money the city estimates it could make.
The sign says 20 miles per hour. But here at Bowdish Middle School, neighbors tell me some drivers take that as a suggestion, not the law.
I've definitely seen it. I've heard it a lot. We sit out on our back deck and we hear them just go whang right up the street.
Which is why they're looking for anything to slow those drivers down.
I worry about a lot of any accidents happening to kids. And if they can catch people speeding, that is totally fine.
And this is not the only place people are speeding. A study done in January by Spokane Valley shows that within 3 days, there were over 500 school zone violations at Bowdish Middle School. At Centennial Middle School, there were 855. The city hopes by being able to find people, the next time they drive by the camera, they will remember to pump the brakes.
Other cities that have implemented these programs show between a 50 and 70% reduction in speeding in those school zones.
But some in Spokane Valley are not a fan of this idea. I spoke to several people today who told me they would not want a picture taken of their license plate and that these cameras are too much surveillance.
It's just like a parking ticket where you get a fee for the violation and the information cannot be used or given to anybody else for any other purposes.
The city estimates that if tickets were issued for speeding at both Bowdish and Centennial Middle School, it would make about $98,000 in 1 year. That money would go towards paying for the cameras and traffic calming measures. The city council still has to vote on this, but if passed, it would be about 6 months until these cameras are up and running. In Spokane Valley, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
All right, take a look at this video from this day back in 2019. An early season snowstorm left many downed trees on Spokane's South Hill. That's because the trees hadn't even lost their leaves yet, and the added weight from the snow caused tree branches to snap. In just a few hours, most of that snow melted away, though, leaving families and power companies working to clean up the mess under clear blue skies. It was such a bizarre thing when it happened, because you're thinking like, okay, snow is weird, but then you're seeing all this damage, and it was just so unusual because of those leaves.
And the snow just hanging from the leaves like that?
Oh, yes. And it was a record snow, a little over 3.5 inches, and really did a number at our house, I'll tell you that. It is not snow falling from the skies, but it might look like
really
snow. Oh, my goodness. I noticed them on my walk today, and then our director of news operations, Brian Neal, sent this video from his place in Spangle. Those nasty ash aphids. They're harmless. They might fly up your nose if you're out for a jog. They're very active in the late afternoon and early evening. This is a still photo from Brian's house. They look gigantic, but they're not. They look like tiny little Q-tips flying around the area. And this is their migration time. They're right on time. If I could pin it to the day, I would say today would be a day they'd show up. But they migrate from the fir trees to ash trees, and that's where they find a lady aphid they like and mate, and that's what they do this time of year, and that's why they're so active. What we need is a good hard freeze to get rid of those aphids, and we'll get close on Tuesday, but otherwise you might want to wear a mask if you're out for a jog in the late afternoon and early evening. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast.
All right, let's send it over to Jack Wallace now and look at a big matchup for the Cougs.
Washington State and Ole Miss battle for this very first time this weekend. The Cougs' opportunity to knock off a top 5 opponent for the first time in 8 years. The Cougs enter the game as huge underdogs. Ole Miss now above 30-point favorites. That would make WSU upset win one of the biggest point spread upsets in college football history. WSU only has one SEC win in 9 tries, a 1988 win over the Tennessee Volunteers. But despite that daunting line, head coach Jimmy Rogers isn't listening to this outside noise, and he spoke with the media this week on how this team is focusing ahead of this Southern road trip.
I think the world talks about it. I think we talk about the things that truly matter. What the other outside world, if you look at half the team, like this place gave them an opportunity for the first time, or another place gave them an opportunity for the first time. So this is they have a certain mindset that they got something to prove, and it's not just against one team. It's kind of against, our whole schedule.
Cougs kick off against the Rebs at 9:45 a.m. Pacific time at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium in Oxford this Saturday. And Game of the Week voting is almost closed, still open for a little bit more time. We have a crosstown battle between Coeur d'Alene and Lake City, a 5 p.m. kick between Mount Spokane, Lewis and Clark, and a cross-state battle between Moses Lake and Post Falls. You can vote right now on KXLY.com until 8 p.m. tonight. The winner will be announced on our website and 4 News Now Nightside. Seattle Kraken begin their season tonight. They take on the Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim back on the Kraken. The previous 2 meetings, a stark difference from 8 in a row for Seattle before that. Puck drop coming up soon, 7 p.m. Spokane Chief star Berkeley Catton with Seattle now. If you're watching tonight, he's wearing number 77 and could make his NHL debut if he's called onto the ice tonight. We don't know yet. We're going to find out, though. It should be fun.
Yeah, a lot of Chiefs fans will be watching that closely for sure.
All right, we'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap and Associates.
All aboard for Model Train Magic. Join us Sunday, October 12th at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center. Experience amazing operating layouts in every scale, from tiny Z to giant G. Browse railroad art, memorabilia, and an incredible selection of trains and supplies. Plus, enjoy free parking and delicious food while your visit helps local children's charities. Get all the details at rivercitymodelers.org.
Do you have old or unused medication? Keep your loved ones safe by disposing of your unneeded medications at a drop-off location. It's a simple way to make your home safer and to help prevent misuse or accidental poisoning. Find a secure take-back kiosk near you at medtakebackwashington.org.
Hi, I'm renovation expert Scott McGilvery. I know bath remodeling, and I've seen all the gimmicks. Buy now, half off, free installation. This is why I work with Bathfitter. With 40 years of experience and 2 million installs, I trust their integrity. Bathfitter gives you a fair price and sticks to it with a lifetime warranty. You don't need gimmicks, just a partner you can trust. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
I'm Chad Young from theeasyhomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With theeasyhomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
5 everyday heroes were honored today by tech billionaire Trip Hauser with a trip to space.
We got hit by a satellite. Oh my God. I've
been away. Is this the deadliest train in America? The train line insists it's safe, so why has it struck and killed so many?
Tragedy on the tracks.
Next, Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
Welcome back. Spokane police have seen a concerning rise in non-injury shootings. So far, they've seen 103 confirmed shootings without victims this year. That is a serious uptick from last year's number of 69.
The department reports that often these kinds of crimes are committed by a small group of offenders, and a new tool hopes to help track them down. It is called a NIBIN, or Alexandra Cohen-Yarts explains how this piece of technology can help track down chronic offenders.
People driving through neighborhoods and firing randomly, a trend Spokane police says is on the rise.
Once the bullet leaves the barrel, there's no control over it, and it can go anywhere and strike anybody.
It's a scary thought, and earlier this year, a 13-year-old boy was killed in a drive-by shooting. Spokane Police Chief Kevin Hall pointed to that tragedy when voicing concerns about gun violence.
These are all concerning in that every time a bullet leaves the barrel of a gun, the potential to seriously injure or kill somebody exists.
SPD says that often with these kinds of crimes, they're tied to a small group of repeat offenders. But proving those links has been difficult, as the department has relied on Washington State crime labs, which serve the region and are currently backed up. But a new piece of technology SPD recently purchased that looks similar to this hopes to change that. It's called a NIBIN.
With this new technology, Spokane police can do their own ballistic analysis. What that means is that if someone were to do a shooting here at Chief Gary Park, and then a week later, that same shooter did a shooting here in the Browns Addition, they might be able to link the two.
This technology will allow us to locate some of these chronic offenders who are responsible for a lot of different shootings.
How it works? Guns leave distinctive marks on casings. A NIBIN then uses imaging systems that match those marks to connect shootings.
Just one component that the investigators can use to further these very serious cases.
SPD says the sheriff's office will also be trained on NIBIN, making it a county-wide resource. In Spokane, Alexandra Cohen-Yarts, 4 News Now.
Well, one of the men involved in a deadly New Year's Eve shooting will spend the next 32 years in prison. 32-year-old Elijah Harvey was convicted for killing Carlos Thomas back in 2022. Harvey was parked next to Thomas on New Year's Eve when the two began arguing. Harvey then got out of his car and shot the victim 2 times, killing him. 27-year-old Takeo Bay was charged as an accomplice. He was sentenced last week to almost 3 years in prison.
Your Friday planner, we're heading up to a high of 72, a drop from today's 79, but we're still 10 degrees above average. A mix of sun and clouds with a chance of showers Friday evening. Your 7-day forecast is up next.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Bill's Heating and AC has not one, not two, but 3 warehouses overstocked with top quality air conditioners. To clear out inventory before the end of the year, we're doing something we've never done before. Advertising our guaranteed lowest pricing for all to see. Right now, you can get a full heating and cooling system installed for only $6,500 to $8,500, depending on capacity. Call now before this amazing deal goes away. Call 208-777-5528.
AutoNation makes it easy to say hello to your next car. Shop over 25,000 used vehicles now at AutoNation.com. Plus, we'll buy your car for top dollar and pay you the same day. Visit your nearest AutoNation store today.
If the name wasn't obvious enough, the DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket is tossed in your choice of honey barbecue or new sweet chili. That means layers of flavor from the top, bottom, left, right, inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Delicious from every angle. That's the Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket. Available in honey barbecue or new sweet chili. Get it delivered today. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
It matters every day and every night. It matters that we're not just in your community, but that we're part of it.
We'd be happy to help you.
Making sure everyone feels welcomed and rewarded.
Extra bucks on the way out.
It matters that we're here for what the doctor prescribed.
Thanks so much, Eric.
And also, just what the doctor ordered.
Need some help?
Right by your side.
Hi, Alex.
Right when you need us.
I'm gonna go grab that for you, okay?
Welcome to CVS. Join us.
Dupixent continuously works to help prevent asthma attacks. So game days are better. Girls' days are better. Even Mondays are better. Dupixent's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Some people felt their asthma symptoms improve in as little as 3 days. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away if signs of inflamed blood vessels like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, brown or dark-colored urine, tingling or numbness in limbs. Tell your doctor of new or worsening skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Cottages of Spokane, specializing in memory care.
All right, so I was absent from the 5 o'clock newscast because I was out watching my freshmen's football game out in the valley, and I tell you what, it was real warm out.
Oh,
You
yeah.
would never think it's October the 9th.
Did you get a sunburn?
No.
Okay,
I had a hat.
Did he make a bunch of touchdowns or?
Yeah, it's a pretty good place.
Well,
yeah.
good. Yeah, look for his name in the paper. All right. Yeah, very, very warm. At the airport, it was 79 degrees today. Out in the valley, it made it up into the 80s. 62 is our average high. Our record for today is 81, set back in 1934, and a very warm start to the day at 55 degrees. That's 15 degrees above average, even with the clear skies, light winds, and radiational cooling. That's as cool as we could get. Sunrise these days in the 7 o'clock hour, and we're at 6:13 for our sunset. Our high temperature trend over the next 7 days, we are going from temperatures well above, will be 10 degrees above average tomorrow, to below through the weekend and into early next week before we get to be right about average heading into Wednesday and Thursday. Our long range forecast, October 7th through the 23rd, this is the 8 to 14 from the Climate Prediction Center, has us in that light orange, so a trend toward above average temperatures. Precipitation, we're missing the boat. The storm track is to our south, taking that rain into California, Nevada, Utah, and up into the northern plains. And we are in this gray area, indicating no chance, really, of above average precipitation. But that could change, hopefully. What is changing about this approaching system that I had really pinned a lot of hopes on is that it is really not producing the rainfall totals that I had hoped along the coast, and as it moves in, There will be a chance of some showers, but we're not going to get the good, soaking, beneficial rains, I don't think, that look like a possibility earlier in the week. We have a chance of some sprinkles Friday, some very light rain Friday evening into Saturday. Sprinkles here, 1/100 of an inch of rain there, and then a better chance of measurable rain Saturday night and into Sunday. But I still don't think it's going to amount to a whole lot. More rain possible on Monday. Over the mountains, it's another story, and our snow level will be dropping. So there will be some light snow possible over the mountain passes if you are traveling. On Snoqualmie, it is low enough that it will likely be a mix, and that will be in the early morning and late night, not so much during the day. Stevens Pass could get up to 4 inches of snow, just rain on 4th of July, and 1 to 2 inches of snow up at Lookout Pass possible over the weekend. It'll be a little on the breezy side Friday into Saturday. We're looking at wind gusts Saturday in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range. And then we've got some nice weather ahead next week, but it is going to be crisp, especially in the morning. The coldest mornings of the season so far ahead starting on Monday.
All right, Chris, thank you. The mayor of Auburn says she's not happy the city was not notified that the notorious South Hill rapist was relocated into her community. Kevin Coe was accused of committing dozens of rapes in Spokane in the late 70s and early 80s. Through appeals and trials, he was ultimately convicted of just one. After serving 25 years in prison, he was relocated to a special commitment center on McNeil Island and declared a sexually violent predator. But he was released from that facility last week with no restrictions on where he could live. The state says because of his age and health, Coe no longer fits the criteria of a sexually violent predator, so it no longer had probable cause to hold him. According to the Sex Offender Registry, Coe is now said to be living at an adult home in Auburn. Mayor Nancy Backus writing, "I am angry that Mr. Coe was released into our community. Auburn was not part of this decision, and we should not be asked to shoulder the consequences of choices made without consultation." You can read the mayor's full statement right now on KXLY.com.
Around the world tonight, President Donald Trump says we are one step closer to a potential peace deal between Israel and Hamas.
The president says both sides have agreed a recent agreement to release the remaining hostages, which is set to take place in the next few days. But many questions still remain. ABC's Marcus Moore explains what the next few phases of peace talks could look like.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convening his cabinet, voting on a ceasefire plan with Hamas. The deal is expected to pass. President Trump today calling the deal, quote, a momentous breakthrough.
We ended the war in Gaza and really, on a much bigger basis, created peace. And I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace.
The war began 2 years ago this week. Tens of thousands of lives have been lost. According to the agreement, Hamas will have 72 hours to release the remaining hostages. There are 20 believed to still be alive. Another 28 are deceased. In return, nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners are believed to be under discussion for release. Additionally, Israel will withdraw some of its troops to, quote, an agreed-upon line. Celebrations in Israel as people learn that hostages will be released and relief in Gaza as well. This woman saying at least our children can go to school, go out in the streets, and we can sit in our tents without fear. The plan unveiled last week after President Trump and Netanyahu met at the White House. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying this all fell into place in just the last few weeks.
When we were at the United Nations and you convened a historic meeting, not simply of Arab countries, but of Muslim majority countries from around the world, including Indonesia was there, Pakistan was there, and created this coalition behind this plan.
Questions remain, though, about phase 2 and the future of Gaza and the Palestinian people, many of whom have lost everything and are in desperate need of aid.
Gaza is going to be slowly redone. You have tremendous wealth in that part of the world by certain countries. I think you're going to see some tremendous countries stepping up and putting up a lot of money and taking care of things.
President Trump says he's likely going to travel to Israel in the coming days. Prime Minister Netanyahu has invited him to address the Israeli government. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Tel Aviv.
All right, as we head to our final break, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on 4 News Now.
Sign up for the 4 News Now Daily Local at KXLY.com.
Luxurious Karastan flooring, the flooring you need to live beautifully. With the National Karastan Month Journey into Savings event, Receive up to $1,000 back on select styles of Karastan.
It's Sandpoint Furniture Carpet One, Floor and Home.
What's more powerful than an unexpected storm? Insurance that helps clean it up. Western National Insurance. That's the power of nice.
If you're looking to add more elegance and security to your home, then check out the doors of possibilities from McVeigh Brothers. At McVeigh Brothers, they sell Therma-Tru doors with more than 300 different styles to choose from.
We're working for you.
Check out the expanded strength equipment at Planet Fitness. Join the club today for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Now through October 10th. Planet Fitness is proud to partner with Boys and Girls Clubs of America to create stronger, kinder communities.
With depression, it feels like every day you're just going through the motions. But what if you could get your go back?
Go with Auvelity.
Auvelity worked fast. Some saw relief in as early as 1 week. And Auvelity lasted. On average, significant relief was seen at 6 weeks. Antidepressants may increase suicidal thoughts and actions in young adults. Tell your doctor about sudden changes to mood, thoughts, or behavior. Don't take Auvelity if you have a history of seizure, eating disorder, or have abruptly stopped drinking alcohol, or taking benzodiazepines, barbiturates, or anti-seizure medicine. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Don't take if you are allergic to dextromethorphan, bupropion, or any of the ingredients in Auvelity. Don't take with MAOIs. High blood pressure, manic episodes, serious eye problems, and dizziness can occur. Report all medicines you take to avoid a life-threatening condition. Don't take Auvelity if you are or may become pregnant. Side effects can include dizziness, headache, diarrhea, feeling sleepy, dry mouth, sexual function problems, and excessive sweating. Ask your provider about Auvelity.
Go with Auvelity.
Luxurious Karastan flooring, the flooring you need to live beautifully. With the National Karastan Month Journey into Savings event, receive up to $1,000 back on select styles of Karastan.
It's Sandpoint Furniture Carpet One, Floor and Home. 4 News Now is brought to you by CARD, the Center for Asbestos-Related Diseases.
Okay, Chris Crocker walked out the door and noticed this. We want to show you a live look at Riverfront Park, where the pavilion is all lit up beautifully in Mariners colors to show the city's support for the M's as they are getting ready for Game 5 against the Detroit Lions. It's not Game 5.
The Tigers, not the Lions.
It's not the Lions.
That'd be something.
Wow. My producer, Steven, is going to hear from me. Hey, we learned, too, it's Northwest green and blue. Those are the official colors, and silver. Go M's.
It's basically teal, but yeah, they got to have, make it sound cool. All right, coming up tonight on Nightside.
Parents are busy. They're time-strapped. They're juggling a lot. They shouldn't have to hunt through labels or websites just to figure out what's safe to feed their infants.
A new law regarding baby food is making it easier for parents to find out if there's toxic metal in their infant's food. What parents should know tonight on Nightside starting at 11. All right, thanks so much for being with us.
I'm writing a note to Steven right now. Tigers.
Good for Devin.